Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. We had Luke Johnson on from the Senior Bowl in Mobile. And I said at the end of the interview, after we had kind of checked all the boxes I wanted to check, Jeff Ireland, okay, Michael Thomas, okay, what are we looking to do this offseason, okay, and kind of wrap things up with, okay, Luke, anything else at the Senior Bowl? And he goes, well, maybe. I might have something coming out here shortly. So he didn't give it to us because he's got a job and an employer that would like him to publish these things before he blasts them out on the airwaves. So just a few minutes after we hung up the phone with Luke, he did report that the Saints have every anticipation and intention of extending Derek Carr's that's completely incorrect, of restructuring Derek Carr's contract, and in doing so, essentially lock him up for the third year of that deal. There was an off-ramp after year 2 for the Saints, but because the Saints do what the Saints do, that off-ramp has been napalmed. When the Saints were rolling with Peyton and Breeze, and at a certain point, we won't have to reference Peyton and Breeze, but we're not to that point, so it's relevant. They had a system in New Orleans. They had the quarterback, they had the coach, and they had the foundation of a roster to attack things a certain way. And that way was to trade draft picks to move up to select certain players, to sign free agents to large deals, but to always restructure those deals, convert things into signing bonuses, and kick that can down the road. So every single year, you look up, and while this team's got $81 million in cap room, and this team's got $74 million in cap room, and this team's got $11 million in cap room, the Saints were always $80 million over the cap. And people would look at that and go, oh my God, the Saints have no chance. And then they would figure it out and reshuffle the deck, and they would get under the cap. And it was a great system because the Saints continuously put excellent teams on the field that put them at the top of the NFC South with a chance to compete with the elite teams in the NFC and potentially win another championship. They had a phenomenal thing going. And then Drew Brees retired. And then Sean Payton stepped away. And the Saints, in my opinion, to their credit, said, we've done something great here. Let's try to keep as much of it together as we can. And Mickey Loomis was around. And Jeff Ireland is around. And Kai Harley is around. And they promoted Dennis Allen. They kept Pete Carmichael there. And they kept the nucleus of that team. And continuity at that point made a lot of sense. Nothing's for sure in this league. But this made a lot of sense as a way to continue with the organization. But since the two main pillars of this organization have left, the Saints are a 500 football franchise. No, they're not a disaster. They're not a joke. They're not pathetic. They're not inept. They're just mediocre. Dennis Allen is not a disaster of a head coach. He's mediocre. Derek Carr is not a disaster as a quarterback. He's mediocre. And the way the Saints are structuring these deals and operating without Drew Brees calling the shots and Sean Payton calling the plays are mediocre. And they refuse to change. So when you look at it, continuity has become stubbornness. And I don't know why we're surprised. I think there are some that are. And I don't know why we would be surprised at this. Every indication the Saints have given you is that they're going to continue to operate the same way. They're going to continue to move up to take draft picks. They're going to continue to flirt with salary cap disaster and then restructure things and kick cans down the road and not allow themselves the ability to strip this thing down and restart. They're not going to do it. And quite frankly, from the outside, I feel like I kind of understand what's going to happen here over the next 12 months. This past Saints season was wildly predictable. Wildly predictable. Everybody you talk to around here that has an interest in covering the Saints said, yeah, probably an 8 to 10 win team, flirting with a bad division, not really a threat. And they just went absolutely chapter and verse. That's exactly what they were. And now I feel like, personally, as I evaluate what the Saints look like over the next 12 months, you're going to look at a head coach who realizes he's in the fight for his coaching life. You do not get a third chance to be an NFL head coach. You might get a second, and he did. You never get a third one. So this organization is not about to step back because Dennis Allen's not going to allow that. The Saints aren't drafting a rookie quarterback to develop behind Derek Carr. That doesn't help Dennis Allen win. What the heck is Bo Nix sitting on the bench going to do to save Dennis Allen's job? Nothing. He has to draft guys that are going to help him in September. There's no reset. There's no rebuild. There's no teardown. It's just go, 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 go. And that's what this move is, restructuring Derek Carr's contract. It's go, 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 go. It's pushing more of his salary and more of his money into the third year of that deal so you can spend more in year two. And that's perfect for Dennis Allen because he's got to win games. But if you're a fan of this organization and you want this organization to sniff late January instead of going to play golf in Cabo, playing games that matter, this group can't do it. And you're not going to put yourself in a position to get rid of Derek Carr and get a new quarterback and free up some money because you've restructured the contract to dump all the money into year 3 of it. And again, if you're okay with being near the top of the division and having a chance in the last 3 weeks to win a couple games and make the playoffs and really feel like you're the underdog in all these playoff games you're going to play, but you're in the hunt. If that's okay with you, you're going to be right there because the Saints are probably going to make a couple of moves. They're going to bring in a new offensive coordinator. Atlanta's going nowhere. Carolina's an absolute grease fire. Tampa's hitching their wagon to Baker Mayfield. It's still not intimidating, and you'll probably be in the mix next year. And that is better than being awful if you're talking about interest in games in December. Awful's better if you're looking for a brand new start. Just depends on which camp you're in. If you're in the camp that you want a new start, you want Dennis Allen gone, you're sick of watching Derek Carr, you'd like a new quarterback to come in and breathe some life in, you'd like to move on from the remnants of that Breeze era, you're really not close to that. If you're in the other camp that just wants to see if you can win the division next year, this was a great move because it frees up some cash for you. Just depends on how you decide to look at it. I don't have any skin in the game from that perspective. And I'm telling you that I show up to win championships. That's why I don't hate the rent-a-wins for LSU because they help you win a championship. You can't lose, and you can rest guys, and if you've got guys suspended, you can play in those games, and that's all I care about. I'm trying to win the championship. The Saints can't win the championship with this group. It's a high bar. It's hard to do. But if you want a chance to do it, there needs to be some change. And this organization, maybe more so than any in the NFL, resists change. They did it one way, and it worked from 2005 through 20, and they're still trying to do it that way without the key cogs. Yesterday, in my opinion, was a disappointing day for the New Orleans Saints, but if you're surprised by what happened, then you're not paying attention or you're just willfully ignorant. This is how they do business, and it's not a surprise. I think this organization is in quicksand where you look at it and, yeah, they're not sinking like a stone, but it's a slow death. And that's what it feels like. And I don't even like, it brings me no joy to talk like that. I'd rather be talking about winning the South and making exciting moves and competing for a Super Bowl. It just feels objectively, like that's a long way away. But if you like Derek Carr, you'll see him for 2 more years on Poitras. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.